Hey, we're live. I told you we're going to be back in about an hour. We had a special conversation with the one and only Dory Clark a little bit earlier. Now we're going to be talking with Jeraud Norman, and we're going to be jumping into this. So this is live with Bottleneck. So we're live. It's a live stream. If you have questions, ask away, please. Whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, ask questions. If you're watching this in a replay, as most people do, ask your questions, leave in comments there, and anything that I don't know how to answer, I will definitely forward that along to Jeraud and we'll get you going. And yeah, let's jump into this and have some fun.
Let's do it.
Hello there, my name is Jamie J. I'm the host of Live with Bottleneck, where we help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. I'm also a shareholder in Bottleneck Distant Assistant and author of Quit Repeating Yourself, but this is not why we're here today. Today we're here to talk to Jeraud Norman, and we're going to be talking, by the way, he's a CEO of Jeraud Marketing, and we're going to be talking about how to hire employees that work 24/7 and 365 days per year. So this is pretty cool because this is something pretty close to my heart. I'm really excited to chat with him, and why, oh why, can Jeraud help you stop the bottleneck in your business? Let me tell you. In May of 2012, his son and he were hit by an 18-wheeler truck. This caused him to lose his job, his house in foreclosure, and accumulate mounds of debt. He was a single dad for the past year and a half and adopted his son's older brother. Along the journey, he tried many things to take care of his family, but it always led back to marketing. So he started his own agency, Jeraud Marketing, where the motto is, "We turn strangers into customers using paid social media ads." It has been a successful business, and for the past 6 years, he's generated millions in revenue for his clients. And yeah, I would kind of justify that he has the wherewithal to help you stop the bottleneck in your business. So without any further ado, please let me introduce you to Jeraud. How are you?
Man, I'm great. Hearing that introduction, it sounds so much better when you read it than when I'm writing it out. I'm doing great though. I was like, man, this sounds great. But I'm just blessed to be here. I truly appreciate you allowing me to be a part of this, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you over time. And we met through a mutual friend. Shout out to my buddy Miha, great friend of ours. Just happy to be surrounded by great people.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Miha Matlievsky, if I pronounce that right. He always corrects me on it, but I think it's pretty much Miha Matlievsky. He's an amazing person, and I'm so blessed that he's introduced me to you, because you have a lot of good stuff going on. And what I really like about you most has nothing to do with what you do as a profession. It's your character. And that speaks volumes to me. So I'm excited to have this conversation with you today. And here we go. Channing Gardner says Jeraud is the best.
Shout out to Channing. Channing's a good dude. He's a salesman with one of the companies, and he's been doing a great job. Really, really smart guy. He takes criticism very well because he's all about getting better. So shout out to Channing.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, before we really get started talking about what it is you do professionally and how you can help stop the bottleneck in business and in life for the people watching, can you tell us a little bit more about you, a little bit more of your background, and maybe kind of what you're up to now?
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, but I like to say I'm from Virginia now. I've lived here most of my life, so I live in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Danielle. She's an amazing, amazing person, so I'm very lucky to have her in my life. Grateful for that every day. Also, my wonderful son, Joseph. He lives with me, and today was his first day of school, so today was really centered around that. Nice, easy day, get him off to school, go pick him up after this interview. But that's pretty much what I'm all about, just spending time with my wife and my son. And of course, I see my family that live close by. Outside of that, working on helping other people grow their businesses and growing mine in the process, and just making more connections, talking to people like yourself, and just finding great people in the world. I realized that back when I used to work in the shipbuilding, I did meet a lot of good people, but it wasn't really the environment for me. So now, the one thing I do miss about shipbuilding was some of the great people I've met, which I do keep up with some of them. But for the most part, I like the fact that now I get to go out in the world, anywhere in the world, and find people like yourself, Miha, and other people that I've met that fit my vibe. Like you said, it's not even about what you've accomplished; it's who you are as a person, it's the character and things like that. And I'm just finding more people because I always felt so alone, but now I'm finding more people that fit kind of what I'm looking to give out to the world, and it's coming back to me. So it's really great.
That's fantastic. Oh, I love it. Yeah, what a powerful story you have. Which is another reason that I think maybe shaped some of your character. Having an incident like that occur kind of puts a new perspective on life and what you want to do, and you now approach life through the lens or with a different perspective, maybe through the lens of knowing how challenging life can be, coming back up from this and understanding, sharing that kind of same feeling that someone else may be experiencing so that you can help lift them up. Without getting all woo-woo in that, I wonder if maybe you can maybe share with me kind of how that kind of shaped you moving forward, because I definitely want to get into what it is you do for a living and how we can help people. But how has that kind of shaped you moving forward?
Well, for me, it was just understanding that it just let me understand that whatever occasion arises in our lives, no matter what obstacle it is, you're going to overcome it. As long as you don't pass away, and God forbid you do that, you have two options. You can stay where you're at, or you can, find a way around it. And it's really that simple. Now, either way, I mean, the simplest route is to just stay with what you're doing and complain. That's just not who I am. So I decided to take the other route, and there was a lot of twists and turns. I'm still learning every day. Miha gets on me because sometimes I think I should be further ahead. And at the same time, I'm right where I need to be. So just, making it a simple, I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, just say you're not going to do it. Don't make excuses. Don't hem and haw. Just be real with yourself. That's the fastest way to grow. And sometimes you're not going to do things, but just decision fatigue. I just learned nowadays how to continually limit the amount of decisions I have to make so I can make better decisions and conserve my energy.
Oh, tell us a little bit about decision fatigue.
Oh, well, something as simple as figuring out what you're going to eat. It's every time it's like, oh, what are we going to eat? Versus, I don't mind eating the same thing all the time. I don't mind wearing, not necessarily the same exact shirt every day, but like I have my own line here, which is part of the journey, Bulletproof Mindset. So I have multiple hoodies and I have multiple shirts, but I got like 10 gold shirts. So if I wear a gold shirt every day of the week, I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear. I just grab what I'm going to wear and I'm going to keep going. I don't have to think about what I'm going to eat because I'm on a meal plan. So I just eat what I'm going to eat and keep going, because in business, and that's why there are so many bottlenecks. There's so many, what I like to call forks in the road, or matrices, where you have to make these decisions. And at the same time, if you've never been down that road, and that's the importance of having coaching or hiring someone like your team, because they've been down that road and they can guide you down that process. When you don't know, you have to make a decision. And then if you don't know what's next, then you really don't know what to expect. And then that energy kind of keeps you from being able to fulfill your potential in that role. And you don't solve that problem. Sometimes you're not even aware that it's a problem, but it is. And you just kind of put it to the back burner. You do other things and then it pops up again. But then you have 10 of these things that you've never fully decided on. And then it's just easy to just keep doing the same thing, whether it's getting you to where you want to go slowly or not at all. And that's where coaching comes in, and hiring professionals like you and your team.
Yeah. Jeraud, I'm really glad you kind of explained that, because the more we keep up here, the less creative we are. The less free we feel about making decisions or doing something, right? And if you have all this other stuff dragging you down, I think that's why it's really important for us to do brain dumps, not just once, but repetitively. Schedule out your brain dumps and get a lot of that stuff out of there. I think that's a big help as well. So I want to switch, if it's okay, and talk a little bit about Jeraud Marketing and what it is that you do there.
All right. So Jeraud Marketing was founded in 2017. It was something else before then. We just switched the name, but the mission is still the same. And basically what we do is marketing, right? But to bring it down to a deeper level is we do paid social media ads. So what that means is, if you ever seen a sponsored ad on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or any other social media networks like LinkedIn, if it's sponsored, that means someone spent money to put that message in front of you. Whether they spent the time to understand that they were targeting someone like yourself, or whether they just did a shotgun approach, that's basically what they're doing. They're paying to put ads in front of you on a social media platform. And what we help people to do is we help them, one, to tune into that message, two, to narrow down their product or service they're selling, and then what problems it solves, so that way we can make sure it's in front of the right person when they see the ad copy, which is the copywriting, that it speaks to them. That's the best way to connect with them, let them understand that you understand their problems, and then we help you to take them through that journey of automated process a lot of times, or sales calls, and turn it into sales. So that's why we say we turn strangers into customers, because a lot of times people are just starting out in their advertising journey. We're going to help you get in front of people that are most likely to purchase your service. And then once you get in front of them, they don't know you, but we show you how to build like, know, and trust. And then once you build that like, know, and trust, that's what needs to happen anyway. That's how you and I are here. It just happened quick with us because we met through someone beneficial, but there's like, know, and trust in everything. And in order to get people to buy, they need to be in that situation, especially if you have a product or service. Like if you're selling a stick of gum, I mean, if it's in the store, the like, know, and trust is low. I mean, on the street, you still might not buy it for a quarter, but at the same time, we're usually selling products and services that cost more than a stick of gum. So there has to be something there for people to connect with you. And that's what we help people do. And we help people make some pretty good money doing it.
See, that's fantastic. I think, would you say that paid advertising is a quicker way to get to market than organic?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I learned a hard lesson. So in all that story that you were telling in the beginning, when I first got out, I was in real estate investing. And that was when I was first introduced to marketing, because real estate investors, especially, it was either Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Fortune Builders. They talk about how you have to market to find these properties. So I was like, oh, well, I've never worked anywhere where I had to do marketing. So when they started talking about it, I understood. And then when I tried, when that didn't necessarily work out for me, I got into another business and they started talking about marketing again. I was hustling the streets, passing out business cards. I was really hustling. This was fresh off of surgery. And I passed out like 500 business cards in a week. And no one ever hit me up. And I was just like, man, like that was a lot of work and nothing happened, because I was probably handing them to the wrong people. And that's what it's like when you're out here talking to people about what you do. Sometimes if they have no use for it, then it's on deaf ears. And of course they could recommend it to their friends, but usually when people recommend something, it's because they've experienced the service. So if you're talking to the wrong people, you can't even bridge that gap. So when you add paid advertising into the mix, it allows you to get in front of a bigger audience of people that you can actually decide who it is versus just a random person. And now when you make videos, which I strongly believe you should do a lot of, and graphics and posts, it's speaking to the people that you want to do business with. So you have a better chance of getting more deals.
I like that. And it makes a lot of sense. How do you figure out who to talk to?
Oh, well, the first thing I usually ask when it comes to that is, who's been your customer in the past? If you had to narrow it down to, an age group, a gender potentially, that's where I usually start. Like if you have some commonality, if you look at your list of customers in the past and who you service, what we do is we'll start making an avatar based on who you've already served. And if you want to serve somebody new, then there's just a line of questioning that we would go to find out what your ultimate goals are. And then we would reverse engineer that, understand who we're talking to, and then we would figure out what problems we can solve for them. So that way it'll be a match.
Gotcha. Yeah, so a lot of people think that they can offer their services, everybody can benefit from these services. And to a certain point, some companies have something that, people can benefit from no matter who they are. But especially in the beginning, trying to define a niche, a certain group of people are afraid that, well, I can do this for these people too. But I always caution them to start going too far broad, because then they're trying to market to everybody when you're actually marketing to nobody. And instead start out really, really niche down to a certain demographic. And as soon as you identify that, niche down a little bit further, right? And then do really good there. And then you start building your business to where you can start growing a little bit and diversifying and opening up different niches and different industries. I'm wondering, how do you start with somebody, and how do you explain to them the vision of where they are now in order to set expectations and justify, hey, this could be really quick or it could take some time?
Well, a lot of times when I'm talking to business owners, a lot of times they have a general idea of who they want to work, unless, like you said, unless they're brand new. If they're brand new, let's start there. If they're brand new, something that I would suggest to them would be just think about who you like talking to on a regular basis. So let's just say you're a sports fan. If you're into sports and you like talking to people about sports and your product or services, in some way related to where you can relate to sports, then maybe you just start talking to that audience because you can already relate to them and maybe you can bridge the gap. The one thing that people are scared of is if you decide to go that route and try that, that does cost money, it costs time. It doesn't have to cost a fortune, but there's a good chance that that audience might not receive you. And understanding when is the breaking point of saying, all right, I put so much into this audience and we're not getting anything out of it. I might need to reevaluate who my audience is, or I might need to, spending all this time with that audience, maybe I reevaluate what I offer and I offer something to offer to them. I create something to offer to them because I enjoy working with them and I see that there's an opportunity here. So that's when some of these decisions come into play. And again, that's where, like, even myself, I have multiple coaches. I know you have coaches. That's where it's good to have someone that you can rely on, that you can be open with those things about. So one thing I like to tell entrepreneurs all the time is get coaching as soon as you can. Find someone you can trust. There's plenty of free content online where you can usually watch what people are doing and you can kind of get an idea of, do you want to work with that person? And then, don't be afraid to invest in yourself and spend money, because every time I get a coach, things just get better for us and I learn more. And it puts me in a position where I can actually impact more because there's more things I want to do outside of marketing. There's people I want to help. I really love kids, and, there's initiatives I would like to do with some children to help more children. And the more money I make, the more I can do with that. So coaching is allowing me to get to that aspect.
I love it, man. I love the fact that you have a vision that is bigger than yourself, and you understand that what you're using right now in your business is a vehicle to get you there.
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic.
I appreciate that.
So that's a new person, but as far as somebody that's been there, done that, they're doing okay in their business. How do they do more business? How do they grow? How do you find out, hey, maybe my messaging is off? What can they do to improve upon their existing marketing efforts?
Well, the first thing I would do I would start from scratch. Anytime I create a campaign, we created this, what's called a customer acquisition playbook. It's a step-by-step process. One thing that most people don't do before they go to run these ads is they usually just go on to the platform and start running ads and picking stuff then. The thing to do is to develop the whole entire strategy before you even start touching technology. Whether it's, I got these big yellow sticky pads that I like to write on, or whether it's a notebook, or even if it's on the computer. I'm one that likes writing more than typing. So when you're in the creative stage, I think it's always better to write. But to go through the step-by-step process, the first thing again is, what's the product or service? The first thing is you have to nail down which product or service you're looking to grow, right? So let's take realtors are simple. Channing just chimed in. Realtors are simple, and we've had this conversation with them and adapted, right? Is when you're talking to buyers and you're talking to sellers, a lot of times when you talk to a real estate agent, they'll be like, oh, I want people I can buy and sell their house. Now, the more successful agents, they usually focus in one area versus another. So the first thing I would do is say, hey, do you want to help buyers? Or do you want to help sellers? Like you said, you can't be worried about what you're going to miss out on. That's the first thing. If you can't decide on that, then we don't. All right, now that you've decided on that, what are these sellers like? What are their age groups like? They're even broken down into millennials versus, there's just all kinds of different age groups. So if you don't want to go super, super niche, that's fine. But we just need to get one service, because now that we have that service, we understand what problems they have. And the more niche down we get, like you had said earlier, you get more refined with their problems. Because let's say that, I'm 38 and I have a son, and let's say I only had 2 bedrooms and I wanted to get 3 bedrooms. I have different problems than someone who's, maybe a little bit older, who's looking to downsize, right? You can serve both of those audiences, but we actually have different problems. right? So the more you can get more defined on those problems and offer solutions, the better you can get with getting in touch with your people. And then once you do that, if you have an automated process in place, which is usually you get the info, someone gives you their information, you reach out to them, or if you can buy right online, you let them buy right online. Now you have something automated, you have follow-up processes in place where you stay in front of that person. And we have different things in place where you're looking to convert more sales.
I love that. Good friend of mine, author of this book right here, Play Bigger, Christopher Lochhead, says, market the problems, not the solutions.
True. And one thing, and I'll say, and I think when you said that, I think a lot of people are going to hear that. But I remember when I first even started in marketing, they said, "What is the problem? What is the problem?" And I thought I understood. But the more I spent time with different people, understanding their problems and how crucial it is to make it to help them solve them, that's something that can't be overlooked. So if you don't really feel that at your core, because I knew that I needed to, but I just knew the distance between me and actually actualizing that was a real thing was this far. So I just kept repeating myself, reminding myself, surrounding myself with people that kept that same message. And the more I've done that, the better it's got for myself and for my clients, because everybody needs a problem solved. And if you really don't internalize it, it's hard to portray that, and it's hard to keep that front of mind. And I think it's the most important thing. Like you said, solve the problems. Market the problems, offer the solutions. The solution is for them to get with you. And then once they get with you, that's when you convert the sale, especially if you're good at what you do. And if you don't, then that's a whole nother conversation. Working with people and helping them with sales, which I can do and I do, but there's other people that I would refer people out to because that's what they do on a regular basis. So sales is a whole nother conversation, but you got to get them to the sales table before you can start to grow.
Exactly. Big difference between marketing and sales. So you're actually identifying two problems, right? You're identifying the problem that your client has. They need more business. And then you're helping them to identify what the different problems are that their clients may have, because they may not know that, and they may not, and that's a whole messaging thing, right?
It is. And sometimes you'd be surprised how a simple change in the message didn't have to be anything crazy. A simple change in the messaging could mean everything. And it's just really about setting the expectation. And that's something I'm good at. Sometimes I set the expectation so much that it's like, you might want to walk away, because I just want to be real with you, because integrity is everything to me in marketing. And I know in marketing, it gets a bad name. Most people, it's like, hey, you spent money, it didn't work. That's just marketing. I just can't sleep at night kind of with that mentality. So the reason I chose the path I did is because it allows us to have some transparency. And when you work with the right people and they're transparent about the sales that they do and the way that they carry out the leads that you brought to them, you got a good marriage there where you can work with some good folks.
See, I said it in the beginning, character trumps everything else. It really does. And the other thing that you talk about is expectations and setting those expectations. That is magical, because a lot of people get into marketing because they think, okay, I'm finally going to do this. I'm finally going to get into this marketing thing. Here we go. Take my money. I'm ready. Right?
Yeah.
And then they would say, wait, it's been 3 days. I haven't even heard a peep. Well,
exactly.
If you failed in setting their expectations, knowing that, hey, this is we're going for the long game here, right? Do you plan on being in business next year? Well, yes. Well, wouldn't you rather be in a much better position next year than you are now? Well, yes. Wouldn't you like to understand your messaging a little bit more and really understanding what your clients' problems are instead of right now in next year? Yes. Well, it's going to take some time to get from A to Z, right? There's work that needs to be done. We live in a time in society where instant gratification is everywhere. It's a plethora. You get online, you go to Netflix anytime you want, on demand. It's instant, right? Well, that doesn't work in the real world. It really doesn't, as far as getting your message out there and starting a new campaign and doing something like this on what it is that you do. So setting those expectations is really important. And like you said, once you set those expectations, you're going to find out who's going to be the right person to work with and the wrong person to work with. And have you ever worked with the wrong person before?
Yeah, a few times. I don't know if anybody's heard of the Usher song, "You Remind Me of a Girl I Once Knew." So whenever I'm speaking with clients, especially if I'm doing the sales, I just listen for different triggers, right? Because what I tell them, and I actually tell them this, is I'm grilling you harder than you're grilling me. I know you're looking to give me money, but I don't take you giving me your money lightly. I want to make sure, one, you're the right person to work with, because it's a team effort. Anybody who thinks that they're just going to give a marketer money and they're just going to make it rain, I mean, it can happen, but they can't do the work for you that needs to be done. There's still things that you need to do on your end, and we're here to guide you through the process. So that's one. I always check, say, hey, are you going to be able to do the things that I'm asking you? It's not a lot, but if you can't, you're holding up the process. And if you're holding up the process, I don't feel good about it, because you're paying me and I can't do my job. And I've actually asked clients, I've removed myself from clients that won't come through on their end, because it just becomes an energy drag. So what I look to do now is I take all that into account when I'm sitting with someone. And if they're not the right fit, I mean, it's no big deal. I'll find somebody else that may be a good fit for them, because I know a lot of other people market. And my thing is, you don't have to pick me, but my thing is, you're either going to do it yourself, which you should learn. I think everybody should learn to an extent. Do nothing, or you're going to pay someone. So if just do something. So if it's not me, I got plenty of friends who do marketing that are really good. I would love to connect you with. But my thing is, just do something for yourself to put yourself ahead. Right.
I love it, man. Absolutely love that mentality. And what's really good about that too is I asked if you've ever had aligned yourself with someone that wasn't a good client. I mean, the lessons you learn out of that are fantastic. It's almost like, hey, choose the wrong person to work with first and learn.
Yeah.
It's almost more important to learn what doesn't work for you than it does to learn what does work for you.
I agree. And it's follow your gut, because there's some times where I had like this feeling that I probably shouldn't. And it wasn't because I needed the money. Of course, to make more money. So I'm not going to say I don't want to make more. But I was like, it was just this feeling. I was like, that was probably not what I thought it was. And then it was what I thought it was. And it manifested later. And I feel like everyone I've ever worked with, I've left with on good terms. But I just look to make sure that if those signs appear, that I just decide not to align myself with that, because, keeping my energy up and keep my energy where it needs to be is most important. And if I can't help someone, why would I take their money? All right. If I don't feel comfortable helping them, but if I know that I can, then yeah, 90, it's still a sale at the end of the day. So if I feel like I can help someone, I'm on the phone with them and they have a problem and I think they're a good fit to work with, I'd say damn near 100% of the time, we're going to do business together if we get that far.
I love that. I love that. So, Jeraud, we're coming towards the end of our conversation here. I want to know a couple things, but first, how do people get in touch with you?
Okay. Well, you've graciously added it across the bottom of the screen, but one of the ways to get in touch with me would be to email me at Jeraud@JeraudMarketing.com. You can check out our website. We're actually going to be rebuilding it soon. I'm actually excited about that. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Jeraud_Gabe. I do talk about marketing a little bit there, but it's usually, I'm really about family. So a lot of times it's just video of me, and my journey of getting better, still recovering from, that 18-wheel accident and all that stuff, spending time with my son or spending time with my wife. So I'm pretty simple guy. So it's not hard to get a hold of me. Shoot me a DM over there or shoot me an email, and I would love to talk to you. And even if you're not necessarily a right fit for me, if you're watching Jamie's channel or watching any of his videos and you feel something you want to connect, I'm always down to connect, learn from people, and see how I can help you. Even if it doesn't result in me earning your business, I can still provide value. So I'm cool with that.
Man, thank you. Thank you. So I also have one last thing. If you could part with any words of wisdom before we wrap today, for someone that may be, they're ready to reach out to Jeraud, right? They're there. But maybe there's some parting words of wisdoms that you can give to them to help prepare you for a meeting with you, or to help, get really ready to take that next step into the marketing venture.
All right. Well, one thing, it's a line that a guy who, I think it was like the second guy who pushed me over the edge with this marketing thing, just being around, he had said, when you understand marketing, it'll build the engine to whatever car you want to drive. And that always stuck with me, because it doesn't matter what kind of business you want. You have to understand marketing. Now, granted, most of mine is in the paid way, but with marketing, you can grow your business to where it needs to be. And if you understand how to create the right offer and solve problems. So for me, my parting words would be, don't be scared. Just reach out. This is something that, again, I got to shout Miha again, even working with him in the very beginning, and get a coach, of course. But, you know, he said, hey, reach out to me. And I'd come up with stuff and I wouldn't reach out, and I'm paying him. And at the same time, I wouldn't reach out. Like, you guys don't have to pay me to reach out. You don't have to pay me how to reach out to him either. But don't be scared to ask your questions, because you never know how much time it could save you by asking a question. And that's something that I'll leave you all with. And that's something I'm still working on, because I know a lot of people and I forget. And sometimes I'll have a question and I just don't ask. And the only person I'm hurting is myself. So if you really want to accelerate your business, hit me up. We can have a quick connection call, see if there's a way that I can help, or point you in the right direction so you can get to where you're looking to go faster. You don't have to do it alone.
Thank you, man. That's great. Jeraud, do you have anything else before we wrap?
Oh, real quick, the hiring, you know, even hiring the employee for that can work 24/7. The short answer to that is video. When you know,
Yes.
it's part of your marketing process, right? But you know, a lot of people post pictures. But one thing I would say is to start creating more content. I know it can be scary. I can give you guys pointers on that too. I know we're running out of time, but when you create a video, it allows, especially if you put money behind it, which, you know, you can put as little as $1 a day behind the video. If you're scared to, you know, spend a bunch of money, that person's working all day long as it has money behind it. And I used to go to networking events, and I can only go to so many in a day. And even if I wanted to do that day in and day out, how many days could I do it without being burnt out? When you put money behind a video that you created, speaking to your audience and speaking to the problem, you're your best employee that's out there showing up in front of the people that you chose 24/7, 365, as long as you put some money in the tank. And again, I mean, it's like putting a quarter in the machine at the very least. So don't be afraid to put yourself out there, especially if you're local. There's no reason why everybody in your area should know who you are at a very, very cheap price.
I love that. So you do marketing across the board, like on all social, like YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff?
Yes. Also on TikTok, we started doing some on TikTok as well. So depending on what your product or service is, depends on which platform that you should use, and we'll offer our suggestions, you know, and let you know what we think that you should start out with. But
yeah,
it's
that's
really
fantastic. So do you actually post for them, or or do you manage social media, or no, you just do paid?
Just paid. Like if someone wants us to manage social media, what I would usually say, and this is with us niching down and learning, if someone's paying us to do their ads, I'm open to doing their social media, but I don't advertise that I do the social media.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't do the social media without the ads. That's not necessarily our business, and just, you know, getting smarter about what to say yes to. So yeah, we mainly
power
do
of no. The power of no, or the power of yes, right?
Exactly. It works either way, right? So yeah. If you want to target people, and not, like you said, you can build up a page with a bunch of people and they may be the wrong folks. So if you want to actually get in front of the right people that you know will buy your stuff and get help with tweaking your message and putting it there, and what to say on video and how to be on video, which you're probably too hard on yourself, that's where I can come in, and we can help create a process that you can streamline and you can start generating money. We just have to be patient, and we have to be willing to test, and you have to have the right mindset. That's what it's all about with anything in life. So.
Love it. I love it. Anything else before we wrap?
I'd like to give another plug for you. Again, thank you very much for having me. For anybody, if you made it this far in the video, whether you're live or whether this is a replay, make sure you check Jamie J out. Make sure you check the Bottleneck Distance Assistant team out. I really like how they have respect for the industry. Also, I wanted you to say something about the 3 blue colors, because remember we talked about that before in the logo. I wanted you to tell people what that was about one more time, because I thought that was pretty cool.
The light blue, the medium blue, and the dark blue.
Yeah, remember you were telling me, I can't remember, I don't want to mess it up. You were telling me a lot of people don't see in the logo what it was, and I remember I saw it that day. You remember what that was?
I don't remember what that was. I don't remember what that was. What is? I bet shame on me.
I don't want to shame you on your own. No, I can't remember. It was something. I can't remember. I'll have to get back to you on that. But either way,
check Jamie out. Check out his assistants, his processes, his systems. The way they have everything in place is so methodical. And what he's been able to do is to help free up so much time. And he's been able to offer work to people that love what they do. He's created a great environment, and they're all treated very, very well. And man, they're super, super skilled. So if you need any help and you're looking to automate some tasks, or like we like to say, do delegate, delete. There's a lot of things that you can probably delete if you start tracking your time and realizing the things that you're doing that you probably shouldn't be doing. I'm pretty sure Jamie could help you to take those things off your plate, and you'd be surprised how fast your business can grow if you get some help from people like Jamie and his team.
Jeraud, thank you so much. I love that. Do, delegate, delete.
Yeah, that might have been your thing. I got that from me, so that might have been your thing that he got from you. Or was it something else? Do everything as if it's the last time. Yeah, that was yours, right? Do everything.
No, but it's very similar to that. But Miha's the man when it comes to that. He's got some great little sayings there. Do, delegate, delete. I absolutely love that. Do something as if it's the last time you're ever going to do it.
Exactly. So, and especially if you can do things like that, you should be doing that anyway. But again, if you need some help to offload some tasks and take some of that decision fatigue away, Jamie's your guy. He can hook you up. So reach out to him. Don't be scared. Just get it done.
Likewise, Jeraud, reach out to you. Hey, can you hold on for a quick second and I'll go ahead and wrap up?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I got to tell you, if you know me at all, I'm all about hard work, integrity, ethics, family, friendships, transparency, kindness. As a matter of fact, kindness is our word of the year. Kindness for me stands for kindness illuminates natural decency by creating neoteric, meaning new or modern, energy with selfless statements. And Jeraud is the epitome of somebody with that leads with kindness. So definitely reach out to JeraudMarketing.com. I put that link right here. You can email him at Jeraud@JeraudMarketing.com. And he is the CEO of Jeraud Marketing. Today, we just wrapped it up and we talked about how to hire employees that work 24/7 and 365 days per year and the power associated with paid advertising. Highly encourage you to reach out. He's got a great heart. Those are the kind of people that I would love to work with, that I would encourage you to work with. Surround yourself with people that share a similar belief system, people that are there that have high integrity. That is definitely Jeraud, and can't recommend it enough. If you want to hear other episodes with other like-minded, highly motivated, and intelligent business minds, definitely learn how you can break through the bottleneck by visiting Bottleneck.Online/BTV. That stands for Bottleneck Television. And you can check this video out, plus others from all different walks of life, different niches. We don't do that many people that do paid advertising. So this is a unique conversation that we have. And I also want to encourage you to visit quitrepeatingyourself.com. It's the new book that I recently wrote. It's how today's leaders are using systems and processes to grow their business the right way. If you didn't see previously, I talked with Danielle Kroc. He's the personal CFO at Atmos Planning. We talked about linking legacy and vision to wealth and quality of life for entrepreneurs. That was a really good conversation. And he talks about how you can build your personal wealth all the while building your business at the same time and doing it with integrity. Man, do you ever see some inconsistency going on with these guests here? Just prior to that, on today, I talked with Dory Clark. If you don't know Dory Clark, she's a multi-time author. She wrote The Long Game. She was just on about 2 hours ago. And she talks about all kinds of different stuff. She's a Grammy Award winner. She's a comedian. She's a university professor, adjunct professor at I think it's a Fuqua School of Business at Duke University. She's just absolutely amazing. And then coming soon to your earbuds, I'm going to be talking with Gio Marcus, celebrity copywriter of Gio Marcus Copywriting. We're going to talk about high converting copywriting. And boy, oh boy, wouldn't we all like to learn how to write better? So thank you so much for tuning in today and joining us in our conversation with Jeraud Norman, CEO of Jeraud Marketing. We talked about how to hire employees that work 24/7 and 365 days per year through an unbelievable paid advertising campaign. Highly encourage you to reach out to him, JeraudMarketing.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, create your own ripple.